We're going to move on now with Flo Villamino, who's bringing us the International Newspaper Roundup. Hi there.
Hi, Kat.
We're going to start off with focus all around the world on what's been happening in Libya and in Egypt.
That's right, specifically these airstrikes by Egyptian Air Force on Islamic State group targets in Libya. The Washington Post today is very critical of these airstrikes. You can see here they're talking about the wrong approach to Libya's turmoil. Now, this editorial says that the horrific murder of up to 21 Egyptian Coptic Christians by the Islamic State group has underlined the need for an international intervention in Libya. But Egypt's response to the atrocity, unilateral airstrikes, offers an example of what not to do, according to this editorial. Now, it's tricky because it doesn't really say what the West and the UN should be doing. The editorial says that the last thing that the West and the United Nations want to do is pick a side in the Libyan civil war. Libya needs pressure to be brought on both sides to create a regime that can restore order. That is what the editorial says. Now, in the meantime, the Islamic State group is taking advantage of instability in Libya, according to this cartoon in the New York Times by Shapat. You can see an Islamic State group militant there saying, "You see a failed state, I see a brand opportunity," with that flag there saying, "ISIS opening soon."
Worrying developments indeed. And the Daily Beast is reporting on the situation in Italy. Now, not obviously linked to this situation, but we're talking about the people who are fleeing the chaos in Libya, many of them ending up in Italy first off.
That's right, and officials in Rome panicked that this could come to Italy as well. Let's take a look at the headline. It's quite alarming. It says that Italy fears an Islamic State group invasion from Libya, and according to this article, Italian authorities don't really know how to combat this crisis. Now, the article points out that Libya is just 109 miles from the Italian island of Lampedusa, 300 miles from Sicily, and keep in mind that last year, Italy saw a 64% increase in illegal migrants arriving by sea, lots of them coming from Libya. So what is Italy going to do? Well, according to this article, Italy only has about 5,000 troops that are available and even close to deployable, and the military budget has been cut by 40% in the last 2 years. The Prime Minister, Matteo Renzi, is supposed to address Parliament tomorrow with a plan, but the article says it's not clear exactly what that plan is going to be.
Okay, let's move on now to another European issue, something Stephen was telling us about before in business. So we're talking about this possible day of reckoning, again, for Greece.
That's right, lots of suspense still. That's what Stephen was saying. Perhaps there could be a breakthrough in this debt standoff. Well, let's take a look at a cartoon in The Independent, which is describing the situation. You can see the German Chancellor Angela Merkel playing chicken with the finance minister, the Greek finance minister, Yanis Varoufakis. Doesn't seem like a very fair game of chicken there between that huge Mercedes, German Mercedes, and that little Greek scooter. So we'll see what's going to happen there.
It's a pretty good depiction of what's been happening, though, hasn't it? We've been talking about how time is running out.
Time is running out. They're very close there. I wonder who is going to blink first. So lots of interest on the Greek situation, lots of interest as well on what's happening here in France, that vote, well, not lack of vote, rather, in Parliament yesterday. It's on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. They talk about a storm in the French Parliament. You can see the Prime Minister, Manuel Valls, in that very, very rowdy session in Parliament yesterday. So, of course, what we've been talking about, he got the green light from the president to use this constitutional loophole to push through this reform package through Parliament, avoid having to go through a vote there. Now, the Wall Street Journal, conservative American newspaper, is usually very critical of the French socialist government. I had to rub my eyes today because they have words of praise for François Hollande and
Write
Manuel
it in
Valls
your
today.
diary, Flo.
Write it in my diary. Kudos to François Hollande for the political courage. I can't believe these words coming from the Wall Street Journal. The political courage in the service of economic reform. However, the article is critical of French politics. The fact that Hollande had to resort to this constitutional nuclear option, that Article 49.3, is proof of a deep dysfunction in French politics.
All right, we're going to move on to a slightly lighter story now, and one of my personal favourite sports. We're talking about cricket and a team that's making its first ever appearance in the Cricket World Cup.
That's right, that's Afghanistan. This is a sweet story coming from Afghanistan. There aren't very many in recent years. Now, you can read about it in several papers, including the Wall Street Journal. You can see here, this article says that Afghans have found passion in cricket. It's really an incredible story. The rise of cricket in Afghanistan has been astonishing, according to this article. 2 decades ago, the sport was virtually unknown. Now, in the midst of war, the love of cricket somehow developed in Afghanistan. Lots of players from the team actually learned how to play in refugee camps. Another article...
It's huge in Pakistan, where a lot of those refugee camps are.
Absolutely. That's exactly what all these articles are saying. The Independent says that cricket transcends ethnic and tribal divisions. You can see here they're saying, for once, Afghanistan is talked of as a nation. Now, Afghanistan is going to be meeting Bangladesh at this World Cup in Canberra, Australia. Best of luck to them.
Absolutely, a very noble, civilized sport. Finally, word on some snowy weather in the United States.
Snowy weather. Let's just take a look
Misery
at...
and fun at the same time.
Misery and fun. We got to look at one article in the Washington Post. Best headline I've seen in a long time. It talks about the mayor in Boston urging knucklehead Bostonians not to jump out the window into the snow. This is not a joke, and you can see lots of videos online of people doing this, but not recommended according to the mayor of Boston.
Especially not in that get-up. You get some chilblains all over your body. Thanks very much, Flo Villamino. Always very sensible in all weather conditions, I have to say.